You're listening to Combat Radio with Ethan Dettenmeyer, right here on LA Talk Radio.
Hello, you're on with Combat Radio.
Yes, hi, is this Ethan?
This is, how are you?
I'm doing well. This is Juliet Landau.
Juliet Landau, one of our all-time favorites. Let me just bring the audience up to speed. If anyone has any doubts of the caliber of the person we're talking about, well then you have obviously you're not a fan of the Justice League like my kid is, number one, who loves Juliet Landau on the show, but you haven't seen such classics as Ed Wood or one of my personal favorites, even though I don't like this kind of film, The Toolbox Murders. But the list goes on, and I would say check her out because she's one of the best talents working today. How are you, Juliet?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us. And I'm sorry about the confusion earlier. It's rather typical with this show, which I'm baffled why this show is as popular as it is because we can never seem to get anything to work on a technical level. But you've been very patient, and you've got some exciting things happening. And the interesting thing, I just want to say, Juliet, real quick, I met Tobe Hooper at the screening at Paramount for The Toolbox Murders, right? And when they told me about this movie, I was like, I don't want to see that. This is a toolbox. But you were so good in that movie, and that movie itself is so hilarious in a way that I walked out of there recommending it. I was like, you got to see this.
Thank you so much. Well, Toby is a master. I mean, he really is a master filmmaker, and he does, the suspense in the film. I knew the script, and when I actually went to the screening, I kept jumping at all the things that I knew were coming.
Yeah. It's interesting because I met a lot of the people associated with the production who worked with you, and they were all like 100% behind the fact that you were like going to be you were the one to look out for when shooting wrapped, that everyone thought that they'd somehow tailored this movie together. And Hooper, who was known for like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Poltergeist and things like that, and who I really like to talk to, actually, he's a great conversationalist, but people were like, Juliet Landau after this movie is going to be the one that you're going to see working with Johnny Depp, so to speak. And there you were working with Johnny Depp as Ed Wood. How about that?
Well, that's nice. Yeah, absolutely. I've been working on a lot of cool stuff.
The rumor was at the time, I think, was that what was it? Like Demi Moore was up for the same part, and Johnny Depp said, "You know what? I'm not doing this movie unless Juliet Landau plays this part."
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. And then, of course, Demi Moore, where's she now today? None of us know, but we have you on Combat Radio. But
oh, goodness.
Did you like working with Tim Burton? I mean, that's a pretty iconic name. Business.
I love work. I mean, I've been so fortunate. I loved working with Tim Burton. He's just an amazing spirit. He's got this incredible, ebullient energy, wonderful, vision, and it just was sort of obscenely fun to work with him and work on that set.
Yeah. It's interesting because they're doing this black and white, right? And they're doing it of a filmmaker that many people say is quite possibly the worst in history, right? Plan 9 and those things. But they captured it in such an affectionate way that I think the movie itself is really kind of known for being this iconic career turnaround point for Ed Wood, and getting all these people interested in what this guy did. It's almost like the movie is part of film history just for educating people, not only being entertaining, but it's just one of those things.
Well, it's kind of an ode, like a love story to about filmmaking, and it happens to be that he's one of the worst filmmakers of all time. Yeah. But it really is that sort of contagious spirit of someone who set about to make movies and made movies, and Tim basically said he wanted to make an Ed Wood movie, but good.
Yeah. He wanted to do, the blueprint was to kind of copy the film style, if there was such a thing. It would. It's hilarious because there's that moment, where the wrestler like bumps into the wall and almost knocks the set over, and the cinematographer, who turns out to be colorblind, is like, "Don't you want to do another take?" And he's like, "No, we're moving on. That would have really happened." Just like the explanation is like, no one's going to notice. It should have really happened.
Yeah, when you actually watch the Ed Wood movies, all of that stuff is really in there. You sort of can't believe that, tombstones are being tipped over and the room is shaking when, that sequence literally happens where he hits the wall and it shakes and all of that stuff. The things that seem the most far-fetched in it, my character says she doesn't drink liquids, and the movie was based largely on this book by Rudolph Gray, and the character that I played, apparently on set.
What's that? I'm sorry, you cut out for a minute.
Oh, yeah, my phone is doing something weird.
You're getting a call too, probably. your agent's on the phone saying, "What are you doing on this show? How dare you?"
What's going on?
Yeah, sorry, but go ahead. No,
I actually called from this line thinking I wouldn't get, this is the fax line, I wouldn't get any interruption, and of course, for whatever reason, millions of faxes are trying to get through.
It's just the next offer. It's just the next offer. So they can wait a minute longer. The offer will increase the more you put them on hold. So anyway, what are you working on now? Actually, everyone was asking what's the next thing for you?
Well, I'm actually working on a whole bunch of things. One of the things that's been a lot of fun is after having been on Buffy and Angel over the course of 6 seasons, I'm actually writing a 5-issue comic book arc about the character that I played, Drusilla, and it's going to be coming out in June. And Joss Whedon continued the series, both Angel and Buffy, in comic book form when they went off the air. So they literally are called Season 8, and right now it's in the midst of Season 9, and I'm doing a sort of spin-off independent series that I'm having a lot of fun with, and it's really cool to revisit the character. And I'm also in a show right now in Los Angeles that we have been running. By the time we close, it will have been 6 months.
Wow.
And it's been an absolutely blessed, incredible experience. I'm doing Danny in the Deep Blue Sea, which is a John Patrick Shanley play.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Yeah, and John Patrick Shanley wrote Moonstruck, and he wrote and directed Doubt last year with Meryl Streep, and he's just a brilliant playwright and screenwriter. And it's John McNaughton who directed the De Niro movie Mad Dog and Glory.
Right.
And also Wild Things and Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. He's the director, and it's a 2-character piece, and it runs about an hour and 15 minutes, and we're running through the end of March, March 31st, and we have been critics' pick in the Times and gotten 12 out of 12 raves, and it's just been an incredible experience.
Well, any writer or creative personality that can make a character with a wooden hand work effectively, like he did in Moonstruck, that's worthy of respect. And I think that's something. Just that alone should be like a credential on his creative resume. But can people actually get into this play? I mean,
yes.
They can't.
Yes, it's running in North Hollywood at the Crown City Theater, and brown paper tickets. Tickets are available on brown paper tickets, mm-hmm. And so we will be going. It's Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays through March 31st. Although there's no show on March 18th.
Right. So you're actually going to do a show tomorrow with all the pseudo-Irish out there, basically destroying our neighborhood. For St. Patrick's Day, but the show must go on and will go on.
Show, you know what? We've been performing. We literally were on Halloween, on Christmas Eve, on New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day. We were completely sold out for all of those houses. I mean, we've had incredible houses, and we've been getting standing ovations. It's just been wonderful. But all the days that you think people would not go, they'd be too hungover on New Year's Day. We have been completely packed through all the holidays. Which has been great.
Joining us actually is director Brandon Westup from Universal, producer Phil Larness, who's in the works on The Truth Is Out There Too, and I think he wants to speak to your agent and people about getting you involved in that project after the show, and then comedian Eric Mark. And it looks like you, Phil, have a question for... Hold on, let me turn your mic up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, not a question. I actually, as part of our show, Chillpack Hollywood Hour, I've been seeing one live event every week. It's a new thing that we do on our show where we spotlight one live show in Los Angeles, trying to get some culture. And Juliet, every show that I've gone to, be it at South Coast Rep or Pasadena Playhouse, so many different places, in the audience, I have overheard people talking about Danny and the Deep Blue Sea so often. And many times, quite notable people, such as Gary Oldman singing your praises, having just seen the show.
Oh, wow.
That is right, actually. Gary did come to the show and loved it. And, that's correct.
Well, we have to go to this.
Please come. Please come.
Phil, can we go? When do you want to go, Phil? I want to. It's. How about tomorrow?
I can't answer. I'm too busy on my way there right now.
Well, curtain's not until 8 p.m., so you definitely will make it.
You're listening to Combat Radio with Ethan Dettenmeyer, right here on LA Talk Radio.